Hey folks, it's Will, and today I wanted to talk about character creation for Dystopia Rising. Um, so the short form of it is show up, play, figure out what you want to do. If you want, you can leave the video now. Okay, so you're still around. If you're familiar with role-playing games and video games and stuff like that, you might have experienced the process of going over stats and figuring out what your starting skills are and all this other stuff. We've changed that up a little. So every starting character is assumed to know all the basic combat skills. They know how to, pick people up and move them. They can use, swords, shields, knives, bows, guns, all the stuff that an apocalyptic survivor would pick up. Now, part of the Dystopia Rising experience is that when you learn a skill, you're not just signing something on a sheet of paper. You're engaging in a role-playing experience. Like, if someone's going to show you how to heal someone, perform first aid and stuff like that, they are going to go through the process. They're gonna role play it out, and that's part of the fun. Depending on how advanced the skill it is, that determines how long it takes. 10, 20, or 30 minutes. But for the most part, when you start playing, get a feel for it, fight some things, find out what you might need. But, when you come into the game, it's important to know what kind of concept you want. Do you want to be the mad scientist inventor type? Do you want to be the the monster slayer extraordinaire, or do you want to be the sneaky thief type? There's room for all of those, and a lot more, really. Psychic powers, faith powers, all sorts of stuff. But knowing what you want. Now, my suggestion in that regards is to read up about the setting, go through the book, see what the different strains are, see what the different lineages are. If you want to look at some of the skills, absolutely. You don't need to be an expert in all of this stuff. If, by your third game, you're like, this isn't working, we'll just let you rewrite your character. Like, we'll drop all the skills off the sheet. If you want to change the strain, you can. If you want to change everything about them, that's cool. That's fine. You keep all of your accumulated XP, and you get to keep moving. So once you have your basic concept, you've picked a strain. Strain goes a long way to inform what you want to look like. So if you're, for example, if you're playing American, you're going to want to find a hat and something that goes with that sort of thing. All Americans, hats. Or if you like the idea of a tunnel dwelling, cannibalistic humanoid, you can portray a Lascarian. That's cool. They are very much, draped in fabric. Everything is covered, protected from the sun. Or maybe, just maybe, you want to be a fish person. Totally cool. We can have those, salt-wise. Or, lots of options. Want to be, someone that's all into cars and, looks like you walked off of the set of Mad Max. Okay, diesel jocks are great for that. Once you figure out a strain that you like, which we've got videos about other strains, some local content. We're going to have some more generic stuff so you can get an idea for what they are. But find one you like, play it for a little while, you know, and come to the space and, you know, experience what it is to play, what it is to have that weapon in hand. Once you have your concept, your strain, you know, the costume for that strain, and you've got an idea, you know, figure out a couple sentences of background. Do you have friends that live in town? Do you have, you know, people that have lived a hard life in the zombie apocalypse? Cool. Have you, you know, lived a life of privilege in a, you know, fancy casino fortress? Some people have. So you're really bad at being dirty. Yeah, that's totally cool. It's a thing that, you know, people do. And once you have all that, you've got a persona and character that you can bring to our event. Now, if this is a last minute thing and you haven't had the opportunity to get the costume and the, you know, like the super specific stuff, just show up. Or you can, you know, hit us up on Facebook or on our Discord or whatever and say, hey, I want to play, I'm not quite sure. And we'll just ask you what you're into, you know, what sort of roles you like playing in other games. You know, do you like being the frontline fighter? Do you like being, you know, the combat medic? Are you a support player? Lots of things can help determine what your character build is. But we're also really chill about making sure if that doesn't work, your third game will just kick we'll scrape all the skills off, and you can have your character back to, you know, all that XP to build what you want. And don't sweat that. We're happy to work with folks because we know that it's a lot to just dive into this. So, you know, having said all that, if you want to look through the book and see what sort of skills you might want in the future, or you might want as soon as you get in the game, yeah, totally. There's a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to try and highlight some in a few videos, but, you know, character creation is show up, play. If you want to scrape through our lore and figure out like something you like, especially about the setting, attached to that, you know, find a character and, you know, play and have fun. You know, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or hit us up directly on one of our social medias. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the wasteland.